All right, everybody, I am back with a brand new DC update. And boy, these videos I've been doing lately have been bringing out a lot of crazy people out of the woodwork. And it's actually quite entertaining to watch. But we had James Gunn come out on Threads yesterday and clarify his remarks about canon. But does he really clarify them? We're going to look at his quote today. And boy, is it quite the word salad. And he actually sounds like a politician that I will liken him to here in a few minutes. I also caught James Gunn, not just myself, but other people caught him in yet another lie based off of a casting that was announced yesterday. And so James Gunn really needs to just get off social media and quit making comments. He needs to be a CEO, be like Peter Safran, go away into the shadows and hope your stuff does well, because this is not doing you any favors. Now, on the other hand, there is someone coming out talking about the Superman trailer and talking about how awesome this trailer is. And we're going to take a look at his quote and see what he says. And I'm going to give you guys a warning about what he said by two different measures. But let's take a look at the screen grabs I have taken since yesterday. Now, based off of my last video, I thought this was the best comment in my section yesterday, and this comes from Behold the Truth 79. Connecting his new DCU to Peacemaker has set the tone as juvenile with adults that act like mentally stunted children. His movies are like superhero versions of The Naked Gun. And I haven't seen anybody describe it any better than superhero versions of The Naked Gun. Because that's exactly what we have. It's exactly what we had with Peacemaker. It's exactly what we had with the Suicide Squad. And it's exactly what we're going to get with Creature Commandos. People from behind the scenes have already said this is pretty much just another telling of the Suicide Squad, but with different characters. So if you know what the Suicide Squad is, you're getting pretty much the same thing for Creature Commandos. And I believe that. That's coming from one of the producers. Here we go. This is the big lie. Alan Tudyk has been cast as the voice of Clayface in James Gunn's DCU. He's already the voice of, I think it's Dr. Phosphorus, if I'm not mistaken. So he's already got another role in Creature Commandos. James Gunn did come out and say anybody who is cast in his DCU will play one character as animated, and also the same as the counterpart in live action. His brother has multiple roles, and now Alan Tudyk has multiple roles. I can tell you, Warner Brothers is on a budget, guys, and everything that they're doing shows that. And as a voice actor, I could tell you that Alan Tudyk gets 2 paydays for that. Those are 2 different characters. That's 2 different paydays. They should have had somebody else do it. This also comes from James Gunn himself. Batman won't appear in the DCU until the Brave and the Bold movie, confirms James Gunn. Until we have a screenplay that I'm totally happy with, and that makes me nervous, that he's totally happy with. Again, it's all James Gunn, guys. That movie is not going to get made. Once the Brave and the Bold gets to that point, then we'll make the movie. James Gunn gives notes to everything. He's got to have his nose in everything. And it's all about what James Gunn approves and what he wants in these movies. So for him to talk about this, he better give these filmmakers their autonomy to make the visions that, the vision of those characters that he wants. Because he's got his nose in freaking everything. And he should have just been the CEO in the background, but instead he's doing everything. So here's the big comment that James Gunn made on social media yesterday about canon. And it was because somebody came in and said, I think comic accurate means it's current canon. So for Wonder Woman being comic accurate equals Clay origin. Her being a queer feminist symbol of peace who always avoids trying to take a life. She is the daughter of Hippolyta, queen of Themyscira, I can't even talk today, Themyscira, and Philippus as her wife, which makes Diana the Prince of Themyscira and her ambassador, which is weird, okay? Now, this is James Gunn's response to this. And this is also coming off of the interview he did the other day, where he was talking about canon and laughed about things being canon and how things aren't, superheroes aren't real life anyway. He says, I don't think it means in current canon, as all of these characters have their up years and down years, and not always at the same time. I don't think current readers should be weighted 100%, and lifelong readers weighted at 0%. Things evolve. Also, the DCU is a different universe than DC Comics, just as Black Label is different from mainstream continuity. Comics accurate, to me, means staying true to the nature of the character, which is obviously subjective. No, it's not. You're either true to the character or you're not. That is not subjective. So every adapter can only do his or her best. So what he's saying here is he could do whatever he wants because he's never been comic accurate with his characters. Peacemaker is nowhere near comic accurate, and especially Vigilante is nowhere near comic accurate. The whole entire Peacemaker show is not comic accurate. It's not true to the nature of those characters, and that isn't subjective. If you go read those comics, you will see he does not do these characters the way they are supposed to be done. He is giving himself full autonomy to do whatever. Now that he is talking about the DCU, and when he talked about the DCU in that interview with IGN the other day, he talked about, canon not being as important as the story is. And with everything that he's saying, he's giving them full autonomy to do whatever they want. And again, he's got the keys to the kingdom. It's going to be whatever he agrees with. And with that being said, why then don't we get to continue with Superman and Lois? Why then can't we continue with the Snyderverse, the DCEU? Because if there's no canon and you're just going to do whatever the hell you want, then we should have as many versions of these characters as we can. For him to come in and think that the DCU is the only version that there should be in live action is asinine. He is not comics accurate. There is no being subjective to the nature of the character. You either are or you aren't, and he never has been. Now let's talk about the Superman trailer. Frank Grillo, who does play Rick Flag Sr., has been making waves over the last day talking about the Superman trailer. He has actually seen it. And he says, I hope I don't get in trouble for this. I got a sneak peek at a little bit of the trailer, and I'm not joking. And I'm not blowing this out of proportion. My skin was hot, and I had goosebumps. That's how great it is. And you can actually see that interview online where he talks about this. So here's what I'm going to tell you guys about the trailer. First of all, I really like Frank Grillo a lot. I hope he's not blowing smoke. I really hope he's not blowing smoke because I will lose a lot of respect for this guy. I've liked him in every role I've seen him in. In fact, I think he could have been a Nathan Drake in an Uncharted adaptation if it was made 10 years ago. I just saw him in a show, the Sylvester Stallone show, the Tulsa King. He played a character in that in season 2. And I like him. I saw him in the DC or the MCU. He's great at everything that he does. I really respect him as an actor. I'm actually excited to see him as Rick Flag Sr. But I hope he's not lying about this because here's the thing, guys. He's in the movie. You don't think he's going to do everything he can to hype this thing up? This guy has never had a breakout, guaranteed, 10-year plan. He's in the DCU now, and it looks like he's going to be in a lot of projects. He's going to do everything he can on his part to ensure that he gets to continue on. So can you take this as a 100% truth? No, you can't. He's an actor in the actual movie. Now, let's talk about his skin was hot and he was getting goosebumps. He also talked about how awesome Corenswet is and how he thinks he's going to be this massive breakout star. When he talks about getting goosebumps, you know what gives you goosebumps in a trailer? There's one thing. It's not what you're seeing, it's what you're hearing. So if they're going to throw on the original, music by John Williams, that's going to get a lot of people to have goosebumps. So what I encourage everybody to do when this trailer comes out, don't pay so much attention to the music, because that music is epic and it will be very distracting. Look at what you're actually seeing on screen, okay? Because it's the style, it's the look. And there are indications that this trailer will come out before the end of the year, which leads me to believe it will come out at the end of Creature Commandos. That's when I think it will hit, whenever that show ends. It'll be on for 6 weeks, and, well, that would actually put you into next year. So I don't know. There are indications it's going to get released sometime this year, but we don't know. But I tell everybody, go into that trailer, really paying attention to what you're seeing on that screen, and I will be doing a trailer reaction for that. And that video will not be monetized. Normally, I do the trailer reactions just for my, the members of my channel. But that one I'm going to do a trailer reaction for, and it will be for everybody. It just won't be a monetized video because I don't want Warner Brothers getting any money off of my trailer reaction. So that one won't be monetized. But, yeah, as soon as that trailer comes out, I will be doing a video for it. That is for sure. Now, this comes from DC Film News. He says, Daniel Craig is reportedly Luca, I don't know how you say that guy's name's top choice to play Sergeant Rock for his DC Studios film. Note, no offer has been made. So I don't know if there's something going on behind the scenes where there's a Sergeant Rock movie planning to be made. Again, this is an offshoot character that I wouldn't be surprised if James Gunn is working on this. James Gunn has already said there are a bunch of projects that are in the works that he hasn't even talked about yet. And when you talk about Sergeant Rock, you're doing characters that are not going to bring in the general audience. You're not bringing in characters, they're all niche characters. They're not characters that are going to draw in the mainstream. And so we want the meat and potatoes. And so far, the only meat and potatoes we're getting is Superman. And that remains to be seen if that's even going to be a good movie, because there's too many people in it. There's too many characters. I don't see how they're going to be able to make it a true Superman film. Here's that quote by Frank Grillo, who praises David Corenswet as Superman. By the way, the kid, David Corenswet, is going to be a superstar. A superstar. He's amazing, as is the rest of the cast in the film. And just James' take on it. I think it's going to be the movie. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'll give my honest review when it comes out. If it's awesome, I will definitely tell you guys. Here was someone pointing out, won't portray multiple characters was a straight-up lie. He got 3 different roles in the DCU now. And he's talking about Alan Tudyk as Clayface. And that goes back to one of the first grabs that I showed you guys today's video. A lot of people are picking up on this, that what James Gunn says and what he does are 2 different things. He'd also talked about how he was willing to, whatever David Ayer wanted to do with his movie, he would support it. And so far, there hasn't been any talk of releasing David Ayer's Suicide Squad. So we're still waiting for James Gunn to make true on his word on that as well. So not a good look for DC Studios right now. All right, guys, so there you have it. I really do hope the Superman trailer is good. But if people are going to base it off of the music, which is what Warner Brothers is going to do, they're going to try to hit you with that nostalgia bait. Do not pay attention to the music. I would encourage people to turn off the music if it's not original or from the composer from the film, and actually watch the trailer without the music, because that will tell you whether it's good or not. It's the look of the overall film itself. And I hope Frank Grillo is telling the truth. But we will find out as soon as it gets released. So what do you think about, Alan Tudyk and James Gunn's brother playing multiple roles when James Gunn said that wouldn't happen? What do you think about Peacemaker Season 1 being canon when James Gunn said it wasn't going to be canon? And then what do you think about his comments about canon being an interpretation by that specific creator of whatever project they're working on? It basically is giving him full autonomy to do whatever he wants, regardless of what was true to the comic or not. All right, guys, there you have it. I will be back with further updates. this week. I do appreciate all the support. We will see you guys on the next video.